Hello, everyone, and welcome, Mrinal Manuj.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for our first Fireside chat with a travel and hospitality expert. How are you doing today?
I'm good, and I'm glad to be back speaking to people from LBS. So I would love to share what's happening in the travel industry, and it has been an exciting year for all of us. Not in the best ways, but for sure there is a lot to share and a lot of learning there. So I look forward to this chat.
Absolutely. That's great. So let's just get started. So
Yeah.
why don't we kick off with a few words about yourself and maybe one highlight from 2020 to keep this chat positive?
Yeah. So about myself, I'm from India, and I did my engineering, and I was a software developer for some years, and then I did my MBA. I did my MBA from Indian School of Business, and then also an exchange program with LBS, and then I joined a health tech company where I was taking them to international locations to South America and to Southeast Asia. It was Practo. It was a doctor marketplace. Post that, for the last 3 years, I have been with Booking.com and mostly working on the partner side of things, where I try to drive performance for partners and make them more profitable. So the area and the topic that I have been working on is profitable partner performance. And we look at various aspects of how we can help partners perform better on our platform, and how can we provide a better choice for all the customers that come to Booking.com and give them the best experience that we can. So that's the small bit about me. Yes,
That's
and
great.
to talk about 2020, positive note is that we have a vaccine. I think there was a lot of speculation on the vaccine not being there for the next 5 years and what will happen to the world, and uh, it was all gloomy, right? And then we had a silver line in the dark cloud around October, November, when people started announcing that they see positive results with the vaccine. And now 3 months later, we already see people have started taking shots. So hopefully by the end of this year, we will see that most of the world is inoculated and we are behind the worst of what we have seen. Uh, Even now, as we speak, I know that although we have the vaccine, the situation is not that good. A lot of people are actually struggling with the disease, and also with the economic repercussions, and all other issues where people have become more lonely. People have, been more isolated than ever. So hopefully, 2021 will bring the good news. It has brought the good news, but 2022 will not be the same as 2020. So yeah.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Absolutely. And if I take you back 1 second to your experience, so I'm sure our audience would be very interested in hearing about how you decided to join Booking.com, obviously one of the leading travel tech companies.
Yes, so the story is very interesting. When I was at LBS, I was traveling around Europe during my vacations, and then I came to Amsterdam. And while traveling, I used to use Booking.com at that time as a customer, and that was the first time I actually was using Booking.com. And I never knew that I would actually end up working for this company. But traveling is something that I have always been very passionate about. I have traveled a lot in the last 10 years, and and I really liked Amsterdam when I was here in 2015. I liked the city. So when I was here, I was like, okay, it would be nice to actually come here and work someday. And that was a wishful thinking I made in this city. And then it came true when in 2017, one of my friends was working here. He reached out saying that, hey, I work at Booking.com. I said, oh, I know the company. I have been a customer. And he said, we are hiring for product. Would you be interested? And I said, yes, for sure. And then things happened, and then 3 months later I was here, and then this is my home for the last 3 years. So that's been
Yeah,
the story. And I think the major piece that connects me to this place and Booking.com is the experience at London Business School, right? So while I was there, I made a lot of friends. We traveled together, and the experience was great. And I think because of that experience and the experience of traveling here, I knew this part of the world. I knew I was comfortable coming back here and actually working. So I'm also very grateful to that experience, that it actually helped me connect the dots forward in my life.
yeah, and as we all know, these are not regular times, and especially for the travel industry, obviously, as you just mentioned before. And how was it like to work in the travel industry during the pandemic?
Yeah. So one thing that is unique to travel industry when it comes to the pandemic is that we are the first to be impacted and the last to recover, right? So different industries have their own challenges, but the first thing that happens when a pandemic hits is that the borders are closed, the flights are cancelled, the hotels are cancelled, and we are not prepared for it, right? So suddenly, our cancellations jumped uh, multifolds, and our customer support was overwhelmed. And then we had to create war rooms. We had to get in all hands on the deck to ensure that we can actually handle it in the short term. So short term, there was a lot of disruption where we had to handle cancellations. We had to manage expectations on the customer and the partner side, and we saw it as an act of God. We have different kinds of clauses that take care of it, force majeure with most partners, and we try to ensure that both sides of the ecosystem are not hampered a lot. And so we had to really ramp up what we do on product, on tech, on support, on account manager side, on operations, everywhere, so that we can handle the situation in the short term while preparing for the longer term, because we immediately knew that this is not going to be something that ends in a month or two, which
So you
also
were
meant
very,
our
very, very optimistic.
yeah, we were not optimistic actually. We knew that this will last, but we did not know when we actually went to a world where we work from home. We did not know this will last for 2 years. No one knew that. So as soon as it started becoming more and more of a global phenomena, we started seeing that it is real, and it's not something that can just be handled in the short term. We
Right.
started building things for longer term. We started building, modifying our products that actually tackle this new reality. We saw major shifts happen in the industry, the way our business runs, and it also obviously it impacted the business. That is an obvious thing. By a lot, we saw our business drop to around 14 to 15% at the worst in 2020. But thankfully, it started becoming better as the year ended. And again, now we are again in kind of a bad situation with the second strain or the new strain in UK, and more lockdowns and travel restrictions across the globe. But the worst is behind us, hopefully.
Yeah. So maybe you can share what has changed and what we should see in 2021.
Yeah, in 2021, I think what has changed, if you look at the patterns, I think, you know, first of all, for internally, work from home has
Hmm.
become a reality. So people have started working remotely, right? And I think maybe it's school from home for you guys now. And
Yeah. And I will
and
ask you one more question on this after that question. So
yeah,
keep this insight
and I can
for a
imagine.
bit later.
Yes, I can imagine going back to school after having worked. All of us at B school have worked before this, and we come back to the B school. We want to enjoy a full-blown experience of what B school provides to us, and we come with that expectation. So obviously, it's a kind of a bummer for everyone who suddenly sees this unexpected situation. But in 2021, some things that I see as changing is that business travel will still continue to be less, because people have started working from home, and this has become something that is a new normal. And this is not something that people now find challenging, but leisure will start picking up. What we have seen in 2020 is that domestic travel has ruled. It has grown, but international travel for because of border restrictions and other uncertainties has not really done well. So I think that will continue to happen. We'll see that business travel goes down, we have domestic travel go up, hotel stays eventually will become lesser, because people will book short-term home stays more. That is what we expect. There will also be an uneven recovery, because this is the time when things start to recover. For example, in China, domestic travel is already at what it used to be in 2019. So, so we do see that it will be an uneven recovery. China has started recovering. Russia had started recovering. So some
Mhm.
parts of the world will start recovering. For example, US, I think by the end of the year, almost everyone should be vaccinated. So maybe they will start recovering. Um, so it might actually look much more normal than what people expect. So people expect all gloom and doom. It's not that. Even at the peak of business in 2020, we saw that around 60% people were still traveling. So with the vaccine being there, with more and more people being vaccinated and sort of moving towards a close to a herd immunity situation, I think
Mhm.
we would be in a position where we will see it bounce back pretty well. Not absolutely normal, but it will be something that is not as bad as people expect. There will be some consolidations in the industry as well. You will see some people go bankrupt, some people being acquired, but the industry has a lot of cash. The biggest players have a lot of cash reserves, so innovation and product work and getting the best way to travel, etc., will not be hampered. Long story short, travel will return, but only after normal recovery. That is, after everything else has recovered. As I said, travel will be the last to recover. People need some sort of financial confidence, whether it be business or be individuals, to start investing more in or spending more in travel, because it's more of a disposable side of your income. And a lot of people have unfortunately lost jobs, their income sources. Some people might have less reserves and they don't have the money that they want to travel. People will travel. Maybe they will travel to local areas. That's why we see domestic travel also pick up more.
Right.
One last bit
Right.
I want to add here is that, yeah, I don't expect large group events to come back in 2021. Olympic events, carnivals, let's say concerts. Maybe 2022 is the time when they will come back. And that also obviously, it works like a flywheel, and they actually help the entire travel industry grow more and more. If more and more people come together, more people travel. So yes, that's how it looks like.
And when should we expect to see pre-corona numbers?
Pre-corona numbers, I would say.
Of course, you can't really predict,
can't really,
but but what is your best guess based on the data that you
domestic
have?
Travel, if you split by domestic and international, domestic would be seen in 2021 itself. But overall numbers, I think a very realistic assumption, if there are no more hiccups, it could be as early as 2023. I don't see 2022 also being as normal as 2019. But you also have to realize that there is a lot of latent travel that is yet to happen. So if you look at 2019 numbers, maybe we will reach there in 2022. But if you project everything that has been coming from 2017, 18, and 19, and if you look at the initial projection and where we should be, it would take 2023 to be earliest to hit that normal. 2019 figures we might reach in 2022, but it would be lesser than what we would have originally expected in 2022. But 23 we should be there, unless we see that the vaccines don't work or a new strain comes that starts again creating issues. If things go on the positive side of the spectrum, then 23 should definitely be back to normal.
All right, so we go back to this video and check if you were right.
Yes, absolutely. You can hold me on
okay,
this.
Sure. So you mentioned it a few minutes ago, and as you know, as we all know, some companies started making some changes based on new trends, and one of them is the rise of nomadic travel, which is if we all need if all we need is Wi-Fi and enough time in the day to get the job done, we can work from just about anywhere. So how is Booking.com product strategy aligned with this new trend?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think we have all seen that now you can work from anywhere, and as you said, you just need an internet, and so you want to stay in those exotic locations by the side of a nice river or on the top of a mountain and work for extended period of time. So we have started seeing that trend, to be honest. We have seen that what we have done in the recent past to accommodate for that is, for example, our homestays, which is the short-term rentals, we started providing longer-term rentals and the possibility of booking for longer terms. The book window period was extended. So that is one thing we did, because we realized that this is a new need that people have. And this is something that we have been seeing for the past 5 or 6 years, where people now have opened their homes to travelers and they want to go and get the local experience when they travel. Travel has more of, it's not just a vacation, it's an experience nowadays, right? So people want that experience, and it makes it more complete if you actually go and live like a local. And companies like Airbnb have also done a lot to ensure that this is disrupted, this space is disrupted. And both Booking.com and Airbnb have opened up a lot of homes to travel. And I think, I don't know the exact numbers, but number of listings that we have in terms of homestays is definitely not lesser than what other companies have. We provide a lot of options. And what we have done is we have worked a lot in 2017, 18, and 19 to not be just a hotel company, but focus a lot on homestays. And we have all kinds of rental options. We have vacation homes, we have homes, We have cottages in Switzerland, and you can book all kinds of accommodation. We have canal houses, right? And so we have those accommodations already in place. We have the options to book longer term rentals. So I think we are well prepared for a new world where people want to book alternate accommodations and book for a longer period of time. And I think it will be a pretty interesting thing to see this change in 2021.
Yeah, can't wait to book this cottage in Switzerland.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can definitely see that more and more hospitality companies change their focus to longer holidays, as there is a clear desire for longer holidays that let people take their work with them,
Yes.
which is also exciting.
It is exciting. Yes, I when we had moved to working from home, this was
Hmm.
an idea that I
When
was
was it, by the
exploring.
way?
I think it was the third
Back
week
in
of
March.
March.
Yeah.
Third week of March
Hmm.
that we moved. It was the first case that was identified in Booking.com, or I think not Booking.com, but some companies. And then everyone started shutting. And one fine day, on an afternoon, we were told that okay, from tomorrow you should work from home. And then all of us were discussing, okay, what should we do? Should we stay at our homes? Maybe it was, summer was coming, right? So we did not want to have you appreciate. I think everyone who is in London appreciates summer. And when I was back in India, I did not appreciate summer so much. But when you move to this part of the world, you know why people appreciate summer so much. And so during the summer, a lot of people actually did that. They went by the beach, stayed there for 2 weeks, worked from there. Someone went to a jungle, and people did all these kinds of things. Someone actually, even now, some people, but now people are not traveling, but like 2 months back, people were still going to these alternate locations and working from other locations for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, just not visiting family, not visiting friends, but just taking a break from their regular lives, going to some place and working from there. So I think that is a nice to have. That is, that is the only thing that people have these days in terms of what they can do for travel. And it's a nice thing where you can also get some time for yourself, things that you could never have done previously because of your work restrictions. Now you can do that.
Absolutely. Well, so yeah, I think it's time to wrap up. It was so nice to have this chat, and let's finish with maybe one wish for 2021.
Yeah, one wish for 2021 would be that we come back to absolute normal, to be honest, where somehow with some magic, uh, as soon as we are 3 or 4 months into the vaccination phases,
Yeah,
we see that the numbers have gone to almost zero, and then everything starts bouncing back, and we are surprised by how quickly we have bounced back as a civilization. That's my wish. And personally, I would definitely, for myself, one wish that I have, it's not a big wish, is to see my family and friends as soon as possible. We have not traveled for a long period. It's been 1 year since we have traveled, and also enjoy that one, at least one vacation in this year, where without being concerned about contracting a disease or being also a social risk if we are traveling. Currently, traveling is not the most responsible thing that people can do in some parts of the world, but I would wish that it is not the reality 6 months down the line.
yeah, and I'm sharing exactly the same wish as yours. So yeah, so that's great. Well, thank you so much, Mrinal. Lots of stuff we could talk about today, and I really appreciate you've joined us. And so thanks again for joining us to this fireside chat.
Yeah, thank you, Coral, for having me over, and it's really a very, very nice thing to come back and speak. I wish it was a normal situation in the world and I could be there in person and interact with all the members of the club, and also connect them to different people in the travel industry, because I understand that travel will grow a lot in the next 10 years, and it's nice to see that now we have a club finally at LBS that focuses on this. And kudos to you and the team. And I think it's really nice that travel is being taken seriously at B School. And I wish you guys all the best. And I really wish the one wishful thinking that I have for you guys is that you have your graduation ceremony like every other class has had. I think it's National History Museum, right?
Yes.
So you have that. You don't miss out on that. And that's my wishful thinking for you guys. And I will leave you guys on that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you so much. And to our audience, please follow London Business School Travel and Hospitality LinkedIn page for more interesting content all about the travel industry. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you.